mine. I am gonna make you mine. All I wanna do is impress you with my mousetrap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese. All I wanna do is be the coolest cat here, but I'll need some more super grease. Spend a lot of extra time waiting for the acolyte. I am gonna catch that fool. You will think I'm really cool. All I wanna do is impress you with my mousetrap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese. All I wanna do is be the coolest cat here, but I'll need some more super grease.
Good morning, Mouse Hunt. Welcome to Feedback Friday for, what is the date today? January 29th, 2016. Now this is the first regular Feedback Friday in nearly 2 weeks, and I was away. I was out of the office. I was visiting Singapore, where I was able to attend a local MouseHunt meetup that Hunters organized. Huge compliments to everyone who organized the meet. It was well organized, whole lot of fun. Everyone I met was extremely friendly, welcoming, great hospitality from everybody I met there, and that was a whole lot of fun. How's everybody in the chat doing today? Somebody told me it was January 30th, 2016. That is correct, although we're not quite there yet in Toronto. It's still the 29th here, or 28th. 29th, never mind. I'm writing down wrong numbers. I have no idea what day it is, apparently. Doing great. Good evening. Someone's hanging out on a train. Well, hello. Thanks for tuning in from the train. Someone else is homesick. Sorry to hear that. Having a morning coffee. That's a good call. I've had mine. I've moved on to tea now, which I think I let steep too long, but that's okay. 29th in Toronto, yes. Someone's on this 72-hour Spring Express. I believe Michelle organized that, so if you're gearing up for the spring egg hunt, some people wanted a chance to hoard a whole bunch of train supplies. And Michelle pointed out there's 2 very full trains running right now. Hopefully the locomotive out front of that train can pull the weight of many hunters and all their equipment. Carry around a lot of stuff with you as a mouse hunter. You know, as you get up there, you look in your inventory. There's a lot of things. All right, well, what else here? As I mentioned off the bat, it's the first, the second regular Feedback Friday of the year. Jacob took over the last 2 weeks because I was away in Singapore, which was a whole lot of fun. I also had the pleasure of meeting Chris, who is a hunter who makes 3D mouse hunt figures. So you've probably, or potentially you've seen his work. If you browse Facebook, the forums, you've likely maybe came across some of his work. And he was kind enough to actually send the office a whole bunch of them as well, which maybe I can show here. So this is, he sent the office a whole bunch of figures, and we got a few. He sent them in the past as well. So thank you, Chris. They arrived safe and sound, and everybody at the office has had fun checking them out. And I believe there are many going onto people's desks as we speak this morning, as everyone got in today. So if you're interested in checking these out, or maybe getting a figure of your own, you can check out his Facebook page. It's called MouseHunt Frozen in Time, and I'll link to it in the chat. And if you're watching this recorded in the summary in the tavern section, I'll link to it as well. But it's facebook.com/MouseHuntFrozenInTime. And from there, you can get to his online shop as well, which is mhfit.shopmania.biz. So if you go to facebook.com/MouseHuntFrozenInTime, you can check out his work and maybe even get a figure of your own. I think the Eclipse has been the favorite around the office so far. I know Franco quickly scooped one up. We got the Pygmy Wrangler, the Christmas Tree Mouse, the Eclipse, the Assassin, and the Black Widow. And the Eclipse even comes... Oh, and the Leprechaun. He sent the Leprechaun earlier. That's a pretty cool one. And the Eclipse even comes in a nice window box. Look at that nice window box. So again, thanks again, Chris, for organizing, sending us those figures. And actually at the meet as well, so they organized some trivia, and Chris donated some of his figures as well to give away as prizes at the trivia at the meet. So I thought that was really cool and very generous of him. Somebody commented, Brian there in the chat comment, that's the only way you'll get a Leprechaun is ordering a figure of fun. That is clever. Although there were more Leprechauns than ever gave away in the giveaway that ended recently. They are still quite rare though. I think there's under 2,000, and there are certainly there are tens of thousands of mouse hunters participating in the giveaway, so they're still rather rare. Dennis likes the Wrangler the most. I'm trying to decide what my favorite is. I don't know. I guess that Leprechaun's pretty cool. I think I like the Eclipse the best as well. Maybe it's just the sheer size of everything. So again, if you want to check out his work or maybe even get a figure of your own, go to facebook.com/MouseHuntFrozenInTime. Or I'm willing to bet you could even Google MouseHunt Frozen in Time and you will come across his work as well. So once again, thank you, Chris, for sending those to us. Finally, in game-related news, if you earned the Festive Aura from the Great Winter Hunt, it will finally be expiring at the end of the month. So January 31st is the last day. February 1st, which I believe is maybe a Monday, if I recall. My calendar's set on March for some reason. Yes, it's Monday. So Monday morning, February 1st, when we come into the office, we will be turning off the Festive Aura bonus. So it expires at the end of the month, so it is your last chance to make use of that +5 luck bonus, which is incredibly useful. I know I've been personally hunting in the Labyrinth with it, where that luck bonus is helping me avoid some dead-end clues. Although while I was away, I was hunting a little bit more passively because I was on vacation, so I maybe didn't have time to be checking in as often. I think I parked myself in the Fungal Cavern, and I came back to a whole lot of Nightshade, which I've been now going through the Labyrinth with. I think I had enough to craft 1,500 glowing Gruyere, which that'll last me for quite a while now. I think I can maybe finally get the Minotaur under wraps. So that brings us to the next part of Feedback Friday, something I like to call behind the scenes. You can fill hunters in on what we're working on, what's in the pipeline, what we've been doing around the office here. And there are a number of things, and maybe it's because this has been the first Feedback Friday for quite a while. So haven't get you everybody caught up on what we've been working on. While I was away, the guys were hard at work as well, getting everything good to go. So things kept marching on in my absence. We have a Lunar New Year event coming up. The MouseHunt's birthday is in March as well. We've already started working and planning on that. The Furoma Rift as well, which I've mentioned in previous Feedback Fridays. We're working on that as like the next big content release for the game. And some mobile updates as well. So I'll kind of go through everything and kind of fill in hunters about where we're at with all that. First up is Lunar New Year, and that will be arriving next week. The event will be starting. Carl's Cozy Cruise, which should be familiar to hunters who have been around for a few years, or even just last year it was Carl's Cozy Cruise. It will return where you'll be collecting fireworks or firecracker charms, that is to say, to propel the ship through the water and explore the various shorelines throughout the kingdom. Now this year, the cruise's itinerary has been updated to get closer than ever before to the shoreline in the south there, where you'll be able to see the Hollow Heights way off in the distance. So, I mean, Hollow Heights isn't quite on the shoreline, but the ship's going to get as close to shore as can and still give you an okay view of that unique landscape. The shops aboard Carl's Cruise have been updated with a new Jade Monkey base, as well as various other things, including hunting supplies to help your hunting endeavors in the Labyrinth and Zocor. So you'll be able to spend cruise bucks to pick up some things that'll be useful in the Labyrinth and Zocor. The birthday event, which was the other thing we have going on in the pipeline, the game's 8th birthday, at least I think it's an 8th I think it's the 8th if I'm keeping track of time correctly. It's coming up in March, so we've been working on getting the Cupcake Order event ready to go. We're adding a new 8th year, new mice to find during the Cupcake Order, and new rewards for doing that 8th year assignment as well. So we're getting that all good to go. It was extremely popular last year, and part of the nice thing about the Cupcake Order is it really makes sense as something we can just build on, at least for maybe a few years, by adding another year of Cupcake Orders to complete. And the feedback from what I can tell in the chat, people seem excited to go and collect some cupcakes. If you weren't around last year, you could check out the MouseHunt wiki, or maybe even Google MouseHunt birthday cupcake, and you'll probably land on the wiki page. You can see kind of a little breakdown of how it worked, but basically you were hunting mice who would drop cupcakes as loot because they stole them, as the mice so often do. They steal everything that the king tries to organize. So you recover the cupcakes from the mice, you fill cupcake orders, and when you ship them, you get a reward of various loot items depending on the type of order you shipped. And then the orders are also themed after each year of MouseHunt. So it's a nice kind of nostalgia walk through the various years of MouseHunt, maybe figuring out where did you join the game, what mice were released the year you joined, and you can kind of experience a little bit of history of MouseHunt. The birthday, it's very appropriate to kind of look back on all the years past. So I think hunters had a lot of fun with it. We had a lot of fun building it, and we're kind of looking forward to putting it out again with a new 8th year order. Yeah, someone in the chat pointed out, yeah, mice seem to steal something at every event. Well, they are the enemy. They are waging war on these hunters, and so everything we try to organize, for some reason the mice spoil the plan. But never fear, hunters seem to always save the day. Will there be, a question from the chat is, will there be tournament tokens available in Cupcake Orders this year? I believe we're going to keep the various rewards fairly similar, if not the same, to what they were years past. And I believe you could earn tournament tokens by completing the Cupcake Order for the year tournaments were first released to the game. So we don't have plans of changing that. So I think that will be the same. Will there be Valentine's maps? That's something I still have to look into. I'm not entirely sure how the maps are going to work. I was away, actually. I didn't put together the Lunar New Year event this year, so I was very hands-off of organizing that. But I can announce that it's coming, but that's pretty well all I know. Valentine's, somebody was asking, or multiple people were asking in the chat about Valentine's Day. Normally we do a little something for Valentine's Day. This year, with it being so close to Lunar New Year, again, they'll be combined. So instead of Carl's Cruise, it will be Carl's Cozy Cruise of Love, and there will be Valentine's mice running around the ship. You'll be able to get some Valentine's charms as well, which sport are quite the healthy attraction bonus, which may come in handy in a few spots in the kingdom where maybe you aren't using a cheese that quite has a high attraction rate. What stats does a Monkey Jade base have? You will have to wait and see, but if tradition holds strong, it will be a 10 luck base and have some various other stats attached to it. Next up, the other thing we've been working on, like I said, there's been a lot going on here, is the Furoma Rift. Now, we've mentioned this in other Feedback Fridays. We've kind of slotted that to be the next major area that gets added to the game, the next permanent non-event release, if you want to think of it that way. The area right now, it's still largely in the planning stage. We're kind of doing a lot of brainstorming, fleshing out, weighing different options. We've sort of proposed, I think, 4 or 5 different ways it could work now. And so we're kind of refining that. We're going through it, kind of, well, what this one compared to this one, compared to this one, and trying to decide, well, what one do we want to at least prototype first. I think we've sort of made up our mind of the general direction we want to take the Furoma Rift in, and so we're just kind of wrapping up the details. We like to kind of document everything, write it down so everybody knows what the plan is, and then hopefully in the next week or two we'll be able to start prototyping that idea together a little bit so we can play through it and see if it is both a fun idea, and then when you play it, if it's actually fun when you play through it, tweak through it a little bit more if everything looks good, and then we'll really start pulling it together to polish and actually start drawing mice and stuff like that. And Varmint Valley, somebody was asking, multiple people were asking in the chat about Varmint Valley expansion. That was mentioned in another Feedback Friday. That's still sort of in the pipeline. That's kind of in the realm of short-term things we want to achieve, at least anyway. For Varmint Valley, we're planning, though, the expansion to be, at least at the moment, to be something very, very big. So I think we would need a little bit more time to pull that all together. And so that's why we decided on doing the Furoma Rift first, because that's a little bit of a smaller one. It's only one area, where the Varmint Valley expansion potentially may involve multiple areas all at once, something kind of on the scale of the Tribal Isles or something, where there's a lot to check out, a lot of different mice and loot to collect. So that one we kind of slotted that a little bit later of a release so that we'll have some more time to draw a whole lot more mice. Finally, what else have we been working on here? Our mobile updates for the MouseHunt mobile app. So the mobile app, it continues to grow in popularity. Well over half of all mouse hunters use it on a daily basis. So the majority of mouse hunters are using the MouseHunt mobile app every single day to sound the horn, change cheese, check up on their progress. That said, there's still lots of work that we want to do on the app. There's a number of features it still needs to support. There are still 2 areas that have a heads-up display in the game that do not have a heads-up display in the mobile app. That would have made a good trivia question. However, all the same, they are the Narnia Express, as we were speaking of law areas and the trains going on. Currently, you cannot check your progress or interact with the Narnia Express from the mobile app, so you need to load that up in a browser still. And the Crystal Library as well. You cannot get assignments, check up your assignment status from the mobile app. So those are 2 big features that we still are trying to support. Now that's it. To make headway on everything we want to do, we've added another member to the mobile team to help get more things done at a quicker pace as well. So to get them familiar with the app and the project, we've been working on a number of kind of smaller mobile features and improvements. They're kind of aimed at getting a new developer up to speed with how the mobile app works, both on a code level, a game level, things like that. And actually, this has been kind of going on for, I think, almost 4 weeks now or so, and a lot has gotten done as a part of the learning process. So there's a bunch of new features coming to the mobile app in the not too distant future, including a favorite trap setup feature where you'll be able to save any trap configuration and then easily arm the thing later. That's weapon, base, cheese, charm, and skin. Yep, supports trap skin as well. So you can save all 5 of those things into sort of a favorite setup, and then click a button and all 5 of your components arm them. You can also name it whatever you want. So you could call it, hey, this is my catacomb setup, this is my iceberg deep mouse setup, or you can name it whatever you want, whatever you find useful to call it. Secondly, King's Calibrator support, which is just about done. I think we're just kind of polishing it up a little bit today for the mobile app. So you'll be able to use your King's Calibrator from the mobile app to change loyalty chest cheese, gold, all that good stuff. We are, and maybe somebody in the chat can give us a suggestion because we're a little bit stumped. Right now, if you go and find in the mobile app, what we're working on, not actually in the live version of the mobile app, if you go to your inventory and you find your King's Calibrator, there's a calibrate button and you click it there, and that opens up how to use your King's Calibrator. Now that's a little bit tough to get to because you have to navigate your inventory, you have to search for King's Calibrator or scroll down to K and then click a button. Whereas in, say, the browser app, there is a tab to see your daily loyalty chest, and there's a very handy little button to access your calibrator right there. So right from the camp section on browser, you can do it. We've been looking maybe of where could we put it in the mobile app where it would be handy to get, but not too in your face, because it's not something you need to use on a daily basis. So I welcome suggestions there. It may also beg the question, you cannot see when your next daily loyalty chest is coming and that sort of thing from the mobile app. So that might also need a little bit of a home, and then that would be a very good spot to put a button to use the King's Calibrator. So I welcome suggestions. If you're watching this recorded, I'm going to post a summary in the tavern section, and I will certainly call out for suggestions as well, because we need a little bit of feedback on maybe where to put that. There in the chat, Ashley had an interesting question. What about when you get the daily loot chest pop-up? I think that did cross our minds as well. That might be a good spot to put it. We do have, when you open up a loyalty chest and you get King's credits, every once in a while we call it toast or a toaster because it pops up like toast from a toaster. And it says, hey, you now have 2,000 King's credits. Click here to spend them. And that links you straight to the King's cart. So we could do something similar there as well. Like, hey, do you want to change what's in your loyalty chest? Click here to use your calibrator. Under the Adventure Book tab, was another suggestion in the chat there. I don't think we want to put too much in that camp section. It's already getting a little bit full in the mobile app. And like I said, the calibrator isn't something you use on a daily basis. It's not something you need to frequently access. So giving it such an important, prominent piece of real estate, such as the camp section, might be a little too prominent. Someone pointed out in the chat as well, on the browser game, Andrew specifically recently overhauled the whole mouse page, so everything loads much, much faster now, which is nice. It's a pretty important part of the game, being able to look at the mice. So now it loads almost instantly rather than loading up all those mice. It was doing something a little bit weird and it took several seconds. Another in the chat here, another comment, another fair point. The marketplace is also not in the mobile app, so there are a ton of big features and improvements. I mean, tournaments are another massive one. We did get together as we were kind of adding another developer to the team to make a huge list, and a lot of those things are on it. So we're hoping that helps us get through things a little bit quicker while still continuing to work on new areas and all the other great stuff. What else? I didn't even finish the list of mobile things that we're working on. So King's Calibrator support, and like I said, we welcome suggestions of maybe where we can put a convenient button. Treasure maps overhaul. We've certainly had a lot of feedback about treasure maps in the mobile app, and currently right now I don't think you can invite friends, so we've added that functionality. The interface has gotten quite a bit of a overhaul and kind of tidied up a little bit. It looks a little nicer. You can use some of the social features now to interact with maps a whole lot better and not have to use the browser if you're out on the go using the mobile app. Potions redesign as well. That was another little task, something to kind of familiarize themselves with the code of the mobile app, and basically we've had some feedback about the potion interface in the mobile app not being too easy to understand. It was a little bit clunky, so we've taken a chance to overhaul that, streamline everything. It works a little bit nicer now. And finally, something very minor, but whenever we update the game, you'll notice in the mobile app it'll ask you to resync to download the latest content. And that kind of, it both looked and felt like an error message, which often made hunters think something went wrong. So we've overhauled that up. It looks quite different from an error now, so that'll hopefully alleviate confusion. But just something a little bit small, little bit of extra polish in the mobile app. And I realize now that I had screenshots of pretty well everything, of most things I was just going over there. So maybe we can go through those now. What did I have here? Oh, this is the Singapore meet. There I am in the center. Had a really good turnout to the meet. I think they were expecting 30 to 40 mouse hunters, and over 50 came. And it was awesome to meet that many mouse. It was a challenge to actually meet everybody, but it was good. They organized a little bit of a QA. It was almost like an informal feedback Friday in person. So that was good to get an opportunity to hear from everybody, give everybody an opportunity to ask questions and stuff. So it was well organized. It was a whole lot of fun. This picture is also up on our Facebook page for HitGrab. So I think it's facebook.com/HitGrab. I think, if not, we probably should make it that. Yes, there you go. So it's on facebook.com/HitGrab, where Michelle made that post and shared that photo. And I have a whole lot of Facebook notifications. I don't think I've opened Facebook in a while. What else do we have here? Source. This is an example of the resync. Although maybe I could have got a higher resolution version of that, but this is kind of give an idea of what the new resync page will look like. So we changed the background to look a little bit more special, different from the way an error looks. And hopefully it looks more like a celebration of something cool as it happened rather than an error that makes you think something bad happened. So it's just a small thing, a little bit of polish we added there. What else we got here? This is the trap favorite in the mobile app. So you'll be able to access it by going to your trap control. And there is a star button for favorites. And I don't have it in this screenshot, but if you scroll down, kind of below the fold, as we say in web dev, you have to scroll down to see it, but there's also a button to go to favorite trap setups as well. So like I said, all 5 of those trap components, you can click save, and you can save your trap setup. You can give it a name and name it whatever you want. I think this one I named Catacombs. And there's a spot where you can see what trap setups you have favorited. So you can, at the top, it's a little bit low resolution, but it says Catacombs, and I have the Arcane Capturing Rod. I don't have a Charm Armed or a Trap Skin, but I have the Molten Shrapnel Base and Super Brie, which will not work too well in the Catacombs, but nevertheless, that is what I saved my trap setup as. So you'll be able to name them whatever you want from here as well. You can change the name if you make a typo or want to call it something else. You can delete it to manage them. You could from here, you could hit apply, and that will change all 5 of those components to whatever the save setup is. And that also lets you easily sort of edit it as well. You could apply your trap setup, change one component of it, save it, and then save over the old one. So you can kind of you can do a whole lot with the favorite setups. Where did the camera go? So I forgot, as I was going through that list, I meant to show a few screenshots of what was going on. Too much green was some feedback from the screenshot of the button. I think we're still maybe trying to polish that final screen a little bit where you see your list of setups. It does feel a little bit repetitive where it's all the slots you can save in are kind of a little in your face and a little too green. Will the favorite setups be coming to the web version too? There are no plans at the moment, but certainly we'll kind of incorporate feedback and look things over when it goes into mobile. Then we might try and incorporate it into browser. Question, is there a possibility for MouseHunt for Windows phones? We don't have any plans to support Windows Phone at the moment. When will the friend list issue be fixed? I'm not aware of a issue with the friends list, but you could maybe clarify on that in the chat. Another question was, is the new browser layout going to be deployed for all hunters in the future? We're still organizing that. We want to definitely launch it and make sure everybody can see it. There may come a day where the old layout doesn't get new features or isn't as supported as much. Big advantage of the new layout for browser is that everything loads much faster. So when you're on the travel page and you click camp, rather than the whole page going white and it reloading to show the camp page, the header stays still and a little loading box comes down below and it just brings in the camp page instantly. That is both good for hunters because your page loads faster. You don't have to wait as long for things to happen. That's also good for the game servers as well because it's a lot less work to just return and sort of draw or get the data to show your camp section than it is to start over from scratch, reloading the whole page, getting all the data you need for the header and that sort of thing. So it's both useful for hunters and for us devs as well, looking to relieve strain on the servers. Okay, Brian said, with more than 1,000 friends, some don't show in the list. That has been a little bit of a limitation. We are working on some friend improvements. There's no kind of timeline of when that may come out, but we're hoping to maybe streamline the way MouseHunt handles friends, have it play better with Facebook, but there is a bit of some oddities when you have a whole lot of friends. Both Facebook and the game doesn't seem to handle that too well. As Michelle pointed out as well, if you're having a problem with the game or would like to let us know about a bug, you can email support@getgrab.com. She pointed that out in the chat. Or at the top of the game, under the support tab, it is in the top right. You can click technical support, and there is a way to report a bug through there by clicking report a bug. And if you have a problem while making a payment, there is a link to go help making a payment, and you can submit help with that as well. Some questions about the toxic spill in the chat. We're still kind of going over a lot of the feedback from the latest updates to the toxic spill. To be honest, we're still not really happy with how the toxic spill works, and so that is sort of on our to-do list to figure out, well, what is the future and what will the fate be for the toxic spill. But the feedback's been mixed, and we're not very happy with how it turned out either, so we're kind of biding our time to see what we want to do with it. Any Lunar New Year spoilers was a question from the chat. If you find Jacob's Facebook page, I believe you can see the monkey, the costumed monkey mouse. But other than that, you'll have to wait until next week. All right, finally are some feedback questions, or I shouldn't say finally because there's also the trivia questions that we do on Feedback Friday. 2 feedback questions for hunters in the chat, or if you're watching this recorded in the tavern section where we post the summary, you can answer the questions there. So the first question has to do with this year's Kings giveaway, or the most recent Kings giveaway, as they're not always an annual occurrence. What did you enjoy about this year's or the previous Kings giveaway? And all the changes and updates that made this giveaway different from previous giveaways. So there were prize packs and keys, something a little bit more tangible to achieve was our goal with that, as well as prize mice as bonus catches, which they've been like that for a while, but this definitely highlighted it, give everyone an opportunity to capture a prize mouse as a bonus catch that doesn't consume cheese charms or interfere with your area progress, whether you're in the warpath on a streak or going through the labyrinth to collect clues and avoid dead ends. Hunters like that there was no cap on the 3 lower tier mice. This is me writing things down. Like the bonus catch. The bonus packs were a bit empty. That was an interesting thing that came up. I think hindsight, maybe we would have made the prize packs, like once you get 10 keys, you stop getting keys and you can open up all 10 packs. The sort of idea behind the bonus prize packs was, well, all your extra keys, you can open up the smaller bonus prize packs to get a little bit extra stuff, but just not as much, or not in the same quantities from the main prize packs. But I don't know if it was perception or maybe because we called them bonus prize packs, they felt like they were going to be extra special, but the intention was you'd get 10 really good boxes and then just cash out your keys for a bunch of other stuff. So hindsight, maybe we could have gone without the bonus prize packs, and that would have kind of helped the perception of, well, these 10 packs have really awesome stuff in them. The cheese and charm issue quite have ruffled some feathers on the forums. I don't think I'm aware of what you mean by that. People enjoyed the regal charms. They are certainly a nice charm. Yeah, 1,000 gold in a bonus prize pack. It's 1,000 gold you didn't have before you captured that mouse. Or maybe we could just have, instead of it being sort of a pack, we could just have extra keys. Larry will trade you random stuff for your extra keys or something like that. Or Larry's tiny key prizes or something. Bonus packs were a waste, even somebody in the chat said. Well, I will go into your inventory and remove everything you had from those prize packs now. There was a button to open them all at once, so I mean, if you were sitting on 50 and you clicked the button, you would certainly get a handful of goodies all at once, but they were entirely free stuff. But the intention was the 10 main packs would be the main sort of tangible goal to achieve during the giveaway, is getting all the 10 prize packs open. And then we thought, well, what are you going to do with all your extra keys afterwards? Then we're like, well, what if you just open up smaller little packs? But maybe hindsight, we'll scrap that and have the mice stop dropping keys once you get 10. Or extra packs instead of bonus. Yeah, the word bonus may have been the main thing with that, made it feel like they were supposed to be bigger and more awesome than the 10 packs. A lot of, I like free stuff, but I want bigger, more quantities of free stuff maybe. Yep, you could get the ultimate luck charms. The bait keep charms were in the bonus prize packs. Basically, you could get everything that was in the 10 main big packs when you were opening up a bonus prize pack, but you would only get 1 or 2 of them instead of 10 or 50. So you would get regal charms, but you'd only get 1 or 2 instead of getting 50 regal charms all at once. Or you'd get king's credits, but you'd only get 1 or 2 instead of getting 25 or 50. And just like that, there was a chance of finding a bait keep charm, which was probably the best thing you could get in a bonus prize pack. There were chances of ultimate luck charms, I think ultimate power charms. I think rare map dust as well. You could find rare map dust inside of the bonus prize packs. So definitely opening up enough of them, you would get a whole lot of fancy stuff. Well, not a whole lot of fancy stuff, but you might find something extra special. This is an interesting comment about the Great Winter Hunt having such awesome rewards for doing those courses that then the giveaway packs, they didn't seem as awesome. A lot of the times we determine what the reward for something is going to be by the amount of time it takes you to do something. So the courses for the Great Winter Hunt, they were extremely rewarding because it took a whole month of effort to sort of build up your toboggan and get really a good stash of nitro built up so you could be going through the courses at maximum speed. So getting a few pieces of diamond cheese, well, if you went to the fungal cavern and did that, you would probably get a similar amount of diamond cheese, but you'd also get a whole lot more points in gold as well. So we tend to balance those two, or how long does it take to get a piece of diamond cheese in the fungal cavern? All right, well, how long until you, on average, get a piece of diamond cheese from doing the toboggan runs? So we make those about equal. So it's kind of the same amount of time you would have to invest otherwise. Question was about, are Relic Hunter and Glitch Paw mice going to use the same bonus hunt concept? Glitch Paw, I would say definitely. Relic Hunter, we're still kind of thinking that over a little bit. Somebody asking about previous giveaway, we used lucky coins, beginner's luck horseshoes. They have no use now, so by all means, if you don't want them in your inventory, you can click the button to throw them or toss them, and they will be gone forever. But we have no plans of bringing them back. Is the cruise going to have an aura reward? I don't believe so, no. Cruise bucks will be the reward for the Carl's Cozy Cruise. We've added some new things for the shop, including things for the Labyrinth and Zocor, so you'll be able to buy things with cruise bucks. And who can forget about the Monkey Jade base, which is easy to guess that's what is coming. There's some questions about maps. I don't know anything about how the maps were done for Lunar New Year. As I said, I was away, and I did not work on the Lunar New Year event, which is recently one of the few things that I don't think I've worked on. The second feedback question here has to do with the giveaway as well, but specifically Rainbow Treasure Maps. So before in the last feedback question, people said that they certainly enjoyed the Rainbow Treasure Map. So in any more detail, what did you think about the Rainbow Treasure Maps? How they worked, how they sort of scaled in difficulty depending on your hunter's title, The chests, the fact that you could cash out at any time, take the consolation prize without finishing the map, and are they something you'd like to see more of? A lot of love for them. Somebody asking what was the consolation prize? Well, like everything else, it is gold, points, and ancient charms, or for most of the other maps, and you get a portion of that for every mouse you capture. The amount of gold, points, and ancient charms is roughly based on how much you would find inside the undusted, non-rare chest when you complete the map, divided by the number of mice on the map. So maybe a more straightforward way to explain that is if you're doing a map with 10 mice on it, and when you open up the chest, you get 10,000 gold, then taking the consolation prize would give you 1,000 gold per mouse caught. However, you do kind of miss out on all the extra stuff that comes in the chest. So for Rainbow Map specifically, that was, I think Regal Charms were in there, Rainbow Luck Charms were inside there, and I think there's a few other little things as well. And yep, Michelle has a point as well. The interface will tell you what you're going to get. So when the captain chooses to take the consolation prize, they get a little preview of what they're going to get before they decide to do it. Loot items from every location in the Rainbow Map. That is an interesting idea as well. Yeah, a popular suggestion as well has been a boss-only treasure map. Part of the problem or part of the what's holding us back a little bit is we haven't quite have not been able to decide what would be a good reward for doing such a epically hard map. It feels like it should probably be something special, maybe something that you only need to do once as well, because I don't know whether you'd want to do those over and over and over again, but it might be a nice thing to say, there, I did it. And if you really enjoy them, then the prestige of doing it 10 times in a row or something like that. But that's definitely been a popular suggestion, is doing sort of all the bosses in the game on one map. We're kind of waiting maybe until we have, maybe there's a trap or something, some piece of equipment that we want to introduce in the game, and we go, well, how are we going to introduce this in an epic way? And that might be a good fit for that. It could also, another suggestion from the chat was that type of map could also be just a purely bragging rights sort of thing. So, maybe you get a good amount of points, gold, and ancient charms, but there isn't, anything special to get from it, but it is the prestige of saying you did it, or maybe a collectible or some sort of badge that you can kind of put on your profile to say, well, I did this big challenge, but the reward is sort of the prestige of doing it more than it's a tangible item. I haven't opened my Rainbow Map either. A couple people said they hadn't started one. Got mine just as I was going away, and so it wasn't a good time to organize that. And I fear maybe I'm going to have to find some people to help me with that. The consolation prize for maps, though, part of the thing was because they were so long, you might get bored of doing the map before you finish it. So, this was the first map that allows you to cash it out for the consolation prize at any time. What did you hunters think of that as a concept? Is that something you'd like to see more of? Maybe something we just save for really long or special maps, or just like to see maybe all maps have that functionality. I know I've seen hunters say something like an event starts and they're working on maybe a labyrinth map, and those take quite a while to finish up. And so it's kind of awkward. It's like, well, now I can't do one of the event maps until I finish my labyrinth map. And that may help alleviate that. You could cash it out for the consolation prize. and then move on to the event. So at least you feel like, well, the work I did, I can get a little bit of a reward for that, and then move on to the event. I will say with the rainbow maps, we've noticed we have a chart showing sort of what's the most popular area in the game at any given time. And since the rainbow maps came out, they've spread out quite a bit. So we've noticed hunters are all over the kingdom. Whereas maybe before the Great Winter Hunt, a lot of people were in the Labyrinth and Zocor, but everyone's kind of spread out a little bit now with the rainbow maps. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting problem about consolation prizes. It is up to the captain if they want to do that. So you could feel a little bit slighted if you're putting a lot of effort towards getting that chest, and then the captain decides, peace, I'm out of here, kind of thing. And then if you're really hoping to get the chest, your work would go not towards the chest, but just the points, the golds, and the ancient charms. Can the map mice be sorted by location? We have been kind of logging a whole lot of suggestions on how to further improve the interface as well. That's come up in conversation as well, because on the mobile app we've been updating the treasure map interface as well, so it's definitely a good idea to help you figure out where to go. That said, part of the sort of the charm and the challenge of doing a treasure map is drawing upon your hunting knowledge to figure out, well, where's the best place to get that mouse? We also kind of have a challenge where we don't really have easily accessible anywhere. We can pull up a list of where the mice are all located, so it would be something we'd have to manage, and we'd have to keep it up to date. It might be one of those things that if it's not maintained well, it would errors would quickly sneak into it and it would seem out of date. You can see the mouse group in treasure maps, but you have to hover. It would be nice if you could maybe sort by that, and that would kind of help you at least digest things a little better. You can see, well, okay, there's a whole lot of followers of Furoma left on the map. I guess I'll go to the training grounds, dojo, somewhere around there, and I'll try to pick those off. More in the chat here are some comments. More rainbow maps with relics. We are looking for feedback on the rainbow maps for sure. Right now we're kind of saving them to be something special that just kind of comes out every once in a while, because I do fear that they would get a little bit monotonous. And maybe if there's a hunter in the chat, and I think Eileen said she's done quite a few, if there's anyone else as well that, if you've been working on your 5th rainbow map by this point, is it starting to feel a little bit tedious? Because we did suspect that it would be the type of thing that's fun to do once or twice, and then you kind of have your fill of it. You're like, all right, I want a break. I want to do something else. I don't want to be doing rainbow treasure maps. And a few hunters in the chat kind of agreeing, make them a limited release. It was our suspicion. You don't always know. Sometimes things are just fun a couple times, and after you do them too many times, you kind of fatigue of it. Or you could play around as well, doing other sort of special limited time maps that might also help keep things exciting and interesting as well. So it's kind of neat. I guess the overall feedback, the impression I'm getting is the concept of them are really fun. Maybe the idea of there being a special type of map scroll is something that's really fun, and so it's something we can continue to explore and build upon going forward. And whoa, we've been here a long time. All right, we better wrap things up because I am about to maybe do the longest Feedback Friday I've ever done, almost at an hour here. So the trivia question. We have 2 trivia questions. We'll ask hunters in the chat questions. They're usually not particularly difficult, although these ones, I know, they won't be hard. And if anybody in the chat gets the answer right, Larry has reward links to give out, and the guesses are pouring in. 48, 28, 48, 69. Those are not correct answers. 38, no. You may want to hear the question first, I guess. So they both have to do with the King's giveaway. The first trivia question is, which group of hunters caught the most prize mice during the giveaway? Green is incorrect. 28 and a bit. It's not a numerical. Grand Duke, there we go. Several people got Grand Duke pretty well at the same time. Grand Duke and Duchess hunters, Grand Duchess that is, caught the most prize mice, and that is likely due to the fact that there are more Grand Duke Duchess than there are Archduke Duchess, and they have a whole lot of powerful traps, so they are better at capturing those powerful prize mice. They captured a total of 258,748 prize mice, over 250,000 prize mice caught by just one hunter's title. And the Larry has a reward. If I spelled Duchess correctly. No T in Duchess. Duchess. It might be my Dutchness that makes me want to spell it like they were from the Netherlands. The nobility of the Netherlands would be a Duchess, I guess. I hope it wasn't 10 enigmatic cores, otherwise we are shutting down the stream, and I'm going to have to go inform the team that we need to roll back the servers. Extreme Luck Charms. Yay, all right. So I think they were Extreme Luck Charms. So the next trivia question also has to do with the giveaway, and this answer is a number, and it's a number larger than 48, 28, 38, all those guesses that were coming earlier, is how many prize mice in total were captured during the giveaway? Here's a hint, a lot. More than 28. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see the answer when it comes through. If you put in 1,000 separators, bonus marks, that'll make it a lot easier for me to spot when somebody gets the answer right. Someone's looking it up right now. There's a lot of guessing happening, but right now one clever hunter is looking it up. Looking it up? I gotta look up how to speak English. Whole lot of numbers. Oh, I think someone got it. Yes. Who got it there? 916,474. 474. Yes, it's correct. According to what I wrote down. Almost 1 million prize mice. Didn't quite make it. Dare I say, when we were coming up with all the encounter rates and everything, I think the goal was to get to 1 million on average, so must have been some unlucky encounters. A few people missed more often than we were anticipating, perhaps. Yes, mobile charms were the reward for that trivia question. If you're watching this recorded, visit the tavern section, and the reward link will be up there, although they expire after a week, so if you're watching this and it's the middle of February, you're out of luck. But there are 5 mobile charms in celebration of the 5 new mobile features that have been being worked on recently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, look at that. There are 5 features that I mentioned earlier. And in the chat, someone said they were close without looking it up. Congratulations, because that's a very large specific number. Where did you find the answer? It was in the news post when the giveaway ended. There was a news post, and it had a screen capture of the final result of the giveaway, and you could see the total number of prize mice caught. You could also see how many each title caught, how many of each type of prize mouse was caught. Well, this has been an extremely long Feedback Friday. It is 4 minutes to noon. That is almost an hour. I may have to explain my whereabouts to the rest of the MouseHunt team. They may think perhaps I tripped and hurt myself and I've been laying in here unable to move for several minutes. Why don't we finish with 4 minutes of any questions from the chat, and then we'll wrap things up and I will go and get back to work, I guess. And yeah, I believe that's Singapore time, 4 minutes to 1 a.m. Yes. That was actually very interesting when I was in Singapore. It was the first time that I got to play MouseHunt from a really different time zone. I mean, I've maybe been to San Francisco and played MouseHunt, but that's pretty close. But being 13 hours off, it was interesting to see just, the flow of news, information, when hunters were active and stuff. That was interesting, and that kind of gave me some perspective too of maybe how we announce things and how we communicate with the community to kind of try to communicate things in a time zone friendly way. Could you tell us more about the mouse Jacob drew last week? I haven't seen it. I was away. I don't think I knew what he draw, or I don't know what he drew, so I don't know what it could possibly be for. Could be for the birthday event. We've been working on that. Potentially Furoma Rift. I think he was doing concept art for that a while ago. But it might be obvious if it was a Rift mouse. Is another Nonian Games in the works? Was a question from the chat. This year, due to the sheer volume of events that we tend to do, it might be something a little bit smaller, a way to encounter some of the event mice that exist. For Olympics, something a little bit, of a sport theme, but I don't think we'll do something quite as large as we did in the past. What else we got in the chat? Somebody said on mobile there's no Minotaur detected screen. I think that's there now. When it was first released, I think there wasn't much in the Minotaur chamber, but I can double check that. I'll make a note. Suggestion for a new type of special rainbow map with all the rarest mice in the game. That kind of qualifies a little bit like with the boss mice and stuff. Definitely have had a few suggestions. It's kind of a neat idea. I think we're just kind of waiting maybe until we have something that would be an appropriate reward for that. Someone in the chat said Jacob drew a burglar sprite and a ghost sprite mouse. First I've heard of them. I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, more info on that maybe a little bit later. I think I maybe knew what he was working on. Suggestion for a prize mouse weekend? That's an interesting idea, like a smaller scale giveaway, just a little weekend. Interesting idea, yeah. Lots of people in the chat looking forward to the egg hunt. It is definitely one of the more popular events. We're still planning it a little bit, and I'm running out of time, but I think the chocolate factory will be a much smaller role, if at all, in this year's event. I think we're going to make the focus about going out and finding the bonus eggs, because that seems to be the fun part. So that's something that we'll focus on, or something to expect, and I suspect that we get good feedback about that, because it's been a suggestion for the last year or two. Is it still possible to get the trawler gift basket? No, you'll have to wait until the next time we do a Sunken City mini event that introduces that basket, then you can get it again. Any new zones for Calamity Carl's cruise? I did mention earlier in Feedback Friday, although that was now an hour ago, it will be sailing really close to the Hollow Heights shoreline, so you'll be able to see it off in the distance. So yes, you will be able to visit Hollow Heights, although in a very distant way because it's not very close to the water. Will we ever be able to leave Zugzwang's tower without losing our amplifier? That's something we want to do. We've just not had the time to prioritize doing that. We might make it work similar to the Labyrinth and Zocor, where one's locked and you have to actually click a retreat button. There's a couple other ideas of how to approach that. We really want to do that because we can finally then say no area resets when you travel, so you never have to ask the question again, even though there's only one area in the entire game that does that, and we have no plans of ever doing it again because it is horribly frustrating. And we avoid that now like something serious. And now I am going over time, so it is time to leave. Thank you for joining me on this seemingly epically long 1 hour and now 14-second long Feedback Friday. It's been great to be back in the office. I enjoyed my time overseas visiting mouse hunters, and it really did kind of renew a lot of enthusiasm. I actually felt really excited to get back here, get back to work on the game. And so I am excited now to just kind of keep pushing forward with everything that we're working on here. And I hope hunters as well will enjoy everything that we're working on as well. And with the feedback of hunters, make it as awesome as possible. It's a record for you, Dave. All right. Well, on that note, thanks for hanging out with me. Happy hunting, and I think I'll see you next week. Or if not, you'll probably see Jacob, but you'll see one of the two of us for Feedback Friday. Happy hunting.
Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you, catch you, catch you. All I do is impress you with my mouse trap. All I do is convince you with my cheat.